So welcome again, my friends. Now let's take a break from working on the logic behind the next auth. Still a lot of things to do there, but I would just want to break the ice and work on something else, which is gonna be the sign-in page. So let me just reset the zoom so you can see it fully. And now let me zoom in a bit to explain what we've done. So what we created in the sign-in page before is just these social buttons. Still some of them that we're gonna create later, but mostly we created all of them, and then you can see them right here. But also we need to create the sign-in form, okay, and also the sign up form where we can actually like tap our informations and sign up, send the email, verify everything, and then activate the account. And then when we work on the sign-in, we're gonna make the sign-in process related to Next. Also we can log in using the informations that we signed up with. And also we're gonna have the form validation, as you see, for MakeAnyApp, and this is gonna be very beautifully done. You see, this is actually amazing. It's a bit too zoomed in, but you can see that the process is actually very nice. And we're gonna see this is not the final version. If I made any changes, you're gonna know about it later, but this is what we're trying to create. So simply, if we go back, this is the sign-in page. If I refresh, we still right here seeing the social buttons. But if you remember, if you go back to the next auth file, just remove and comment this, and now you see in the pages for the sign-in page we're gonna have /sign-in, and that means for the sign-in page it's gonna change from this to be our page, which is, if you remember, if we go back right here to the sign-in page, in pages and then sign-in, this is what we have, which is simply the text sign-in. So we don't have anything inside it yet, and that's what you actually see in here. So the first thing is just to bring the header and the footer. So maybe I can just go header. Okay, let me see if I can import it. I actually can. So let me import it manually. Sometimes this is annoying. Header from. Simply we're gonna go back to components, and then we're gonna go to the header, and also here we're gonna have the footer as usual. Okay, so this is the footer. Let me take that and also import the footer from components and then footer where we created them before. And here is just simply gonna be the page itself. Okay, so if you go back now to the page, you can see, let me refresh. Okay, so there's a problem, cannot read properties, reading names. So okay, let me zoom out a bit so I can read the problem. Okay, yeah, this is, if we go back to the footer, this is the problem. Okay, the country that we get. Okay, so we passed the country. Okay, so we need to pass, as you see right here in the footer, we passed the country, and as now we're only using it like how do I see it, just a random value, you can say, or just a static value. We can just simply pass it as static value. But when we actually try and host the application, as I told you and I showed you how to get like the right informations. So as you see right now, let me zoom out a bit, and as you see, this is the header. I'm sorry, this is too zoomed in for you, but I have to do it so you can actually see what's going on. And this is the body, that's gonna be everything inside here, and then the last thing is gonna be the footer. Okay, so now let's actually work on everything inside the body of the page. So let's remove this from here, and then let's create the styling file. So we're gonna create it in this size. I'm gonna create a new file. Let's call this, for example, sign in or login, whatever you want. So for example, signin.module.ecss, and right here we're gonna write our size and the sign-in. Simply we need to import it, so import, and it's gonna be styles from, and then we're gonna go up to the styles and then to sign-in. Where is the file? signin.module.ecss. I feel like this is the right one, I hope. Okay, and then simply we're gonna take this size and we're gonna work with them. So the first thing is gonna create a div. So first of all, as we have in like everything inside this div, let's remove this div to an empty tag so it doesn't affect the styling at all, or doesn't apply anything. And here we can create our div, which is gonna be for the login. So styles.login. Okay, and right here we have our div. Something like as I do is I'm using the SAS global naming, so that's why, for example, you're gonna have like inside this I can go size.login then __ container, but you don't have to do that. If you don't want to, you can just name it whatever you want, and that name uses in the file, because I have another course where I work with SAS and some of the people don't like it, and that's understandable. Everyone has their own opinion. If you don't, just name it whatever, it's not a big deal. I've explained this before. And then right here, simply I'm gonna have another div, styles dot is gonna be login, and then header, and then inside this we're gonna have another class name, which is gonna be styles.backisvg, and I'm gonna explain what is it, And in this we're gonna have BI, the icon is gonna be BI lift, and it's gonna be arrow alt, and this is from React icons. So let me go right here and import it from, okay, this is gonna be like this as a partial, and then from, and it's gonna be React icons, and it's gonna be /BI like that. And this is the first thing that we needed to do. And there, and then under that, under the div, there is the SVG. After that we're gonna have a span, and in the span we're just gonna have a text which is gonna be would be happy to join us, okay. If you find this boring, you can just simply copy it. Like if you're not interested in the, you know, front end part, you can just copy everything you want, it's fine. So this is gonna be /store, or maybe I don't remember, it's gonna be like explore, I don't remember, but we're gonna say later, and this link is just simply gonna be go store. This is a link to go to the store exactly if you want. And that's the first thing that you want to do. If you go back to our page, let me see. Okay, as you see, this is how everything looking right now, which is not that cool. Let me go back right now and go to the styling, and then we can start. So for the login, let me just remember what the name, okay, so it was login. So for the login, we're just simply gonna have position to be relative. The minimum height should be 100 viewports height, and then we're gonna have the overflow hidden, so nothing overflowing our elements, and then the display flex. And then let me see, so the justify content is gonna be center, and is like in the beginning, as you see right now. See, this is the elements is gonna be flex. Okay, so the element is gonna be next to each other, and then we're gonna place them in the center, but we're gonna change that later. And as you see, so let me continue now with the container. So for the login container, we'll just simply, let me make sure the padding is gonna be 3 rem, so we're gonna have some space. And then we're gonna go to the last type, because we're gonna have 2 containers, and you're gonna say, I'm gonna explain this later, because we're gonna have the first container, as I'm gonna show you now. This is the first container, which is gonna be, let me zoom out a bit, this one, the left side, and then the right side. Okay, so this is like a form on the left and the right. So for this one is gonna be a little bit like you can see like here, and then we're just gonna make a margin tab to push it so it be on the same line as the left one. This is what I'm trying to do, and it's gonna be like visible like when you see it later. So just focus with me now, and everything is gonna all make sense. And then we just simply, this is the container. After that, we're gonna go to the login header like that, and then simply display flex, align item center, justify content space between, so we're gonna one in the left and one on the right, and then the max width 300 pixel, so it doesn't take the full width of the page, just 300 pixels once. And then we're gonna go to the back SVG, which is that's hold the SVG, which is the back button that you go back, the width 50 pixel, the height 50 pixel, and then we're gonna have a border which is gonna be, let me just see, 1 pixel solid, and then RGBE, and it's gonna be 102, then 102, and then 102, and then 0.342. And there is something you can do, just hover on it and then click right here, and it's gonna change it to the hex value, and that's a trick for you. For the border radius is gonna be 50 pixel, I hope. Okay, no, 50%, what am I doing? And then display grid, and then place item center, so we can place the elements in the center. And then the cursor should be pointer like this. Okay, let me just, and now we want, when we hover on the icon, which is, if I remember you, this one, we want, when we hover on it, to change the color of it to be blue, which is the color. If you go back right here to the base, you can see it, we called it the blue color. So right here, I'm gonna go, when we hover, I'm just simply gonna go, let me just see, border color. Okay, sorry, border color, and it's just simply gonna be the blue color. And then also, other than that, we want the SVG inside this, because if you remember, I know I'm explaining this so much, annoying. So this is the div, by inside it there is this SVG, so we can select the SVG inside it and want to change the color of it, which is gonna be fill it also with the blue color like that. And then if I go back right now right here, and let me hover on it, and you can see both of them turn into blue, which what we want. And then after the SVG, or after the hover completely, let me just go. Okay, when I go to the SVG now, you want to change few settings. So the width 20, the height to be 20 pixel, and want to fill it to be 222. And then also after this and after this one, so this is all for the back SVG. After that, want to go to the span. Just gotta make sure it's out of the back SVG. Okay, so it's out of it. So right here, that means, and the font weight should be 600, and then the font size to be 14 pixels, and then the link inside it, which is the E tag, and the color should be blue color, and then also the cursor to be pointer, and then the border bottom, it should be 1 pixel solid, and then blue color also, and then the padding bottom should be like 5 pixel. And now we're done with the header. So if I go back right now, this is how it looks. This is a bit like zoomed in, you could say, but this is how it looks. Let me just compare it. Okay, there's some space between here and I can't see it here, so, and that's in the header itself. So let me go back to the header. This one's okay, so align item center and the space between. Okay, let me add some. Okay, maybe we can just go, so this is the back SVG, maybe like, I don't know, padding right, like maybe 1 rem. Let me just try this. Oh, so this is the back SVG. We shouldn't do that right here. We simply can go back to the span and then padding left like 1 rem. Then go back. Sorry for this. Okay, so it shouldn't be like 1 rem. It's too much. Maybe like 10 pixels or something like that. So maybe this one just only 10 pixels like that. Okay, maybe. Let me just reset the zoom to see. Okay, yeah. And also we can go to the max width and add more, because this is like collapsing, as you can see. So maybe the max width right here, maybe like 370. Yeah, like that. You should just add the 10 pixels that we add in the padding right here. That's all. And now we have it. So that's the header. It's actually pretty simple. And for the link, you can go to any link for the store that you're gonna create.